Welcome to the figureFIT Lifestyle Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Liz Nierzwicki, international best-selling author of the book Happy, Healthy, Fit, founder and owner of Solace Yoga Studio, Solace Yoga School, and figureFIT, the worldwide online personal training program. I'm a single mom, Paleo Fit Score female champion for 2014. I am a self and soul love expert, an entrepreneur at heart, a visionary and a futurist. I'm also a mentor. I am so grateful that you are here. Each week, I'll bring you a special guest or an inspirational tip that will help you break old patterns, find that inner motivation that will help you take action towards creating the life of your dreams. You didn't come here to play small and watch others live amazing lives. No, you are divine, my godly friend. The universe wants to shower you with an amazing life filled with happiness and soulful connections. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome to the figureFIT podcast, where we discuss fitness, paleo nutrition, yoga, meditation, spirituality, and other ways to have a happy, peaceful, and abundant life. And here's your host, Liz Nierzwicki.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm so happy that you are here. I have some incredible podcasts coming up for you. I've been recording and I have been really just doing some work at my yoga studio and working as a single mom and creating some massively amazing programs. But on top of that, life, life and living. And I am coming today with a story, with really, truly opening up and sharing some real truth and some insight with you. A couple years ago, many of you who have been listening to my show are very, very aware of my journey and what I've been doing. But I've been a lot of times kind of scared or reluctant to share. And that's really what I've been working on, is really getting rid of these hooks that keep me small and keep me stuck. Because I'm not here to play small, and neither are you. And so I have been going through some amazing things lately that have been very challenging, but also I have turned over the year, and my new motto is surrender, surrender, surrender now. See how this is happening for you rather than against you. And I had to do this by force. It was me coming up against life in things that were challenging me, and I would react instead of respond. And so I sat in a meditation and I really realized that, there is that space that we have to grow in between action and our response to things. And if we are not aware of what those hooks are inside of us that have us reacting in a certain way, then we're going to continue to act and behave in ways that we honestly don't like, or ways that we feel is not serving us. And you all know what I'm talking about. We all have this. We are all human. We have all grown up with certain situations that triggered us when we were younger, and we've developed subconscious programming that has, happened and continued throughout our life. And, this is one of the things that I speak about in my book, is about being asleep versus being awake. When we're awake, we're here, we're now, we're in the present moment. And when we're asleep, we can be awake, we can be here now in the present moment, but we're in our head. Or when something happens, we're triggered. And instead of responding in the now moment, we remember something from our childhood, and our automatic programming gets triggered and we react. And the way to break that is through meditation. And one of the ways that I have been doing that is really through seriously meditating a lot lately. My brother and myself both have a quick reaction to getting angry and being defensive. And that is something that has not served me over my lifetime and has not served my brother as well. And it's something that we have had to look at. And I have really, truly done a lot of work in meditation to begin to look into the why. the why behind it. Why did it even happen? Where did it even begin? And a lot of what I have found for myself is in some of the areas of my life that have kept me small is that I actually, when I was younger, I was the youngest and I was picked on. Not bad, just like what older brothers and sisters do. And my mom was working all the time. She's a single mom. And so we all three pretty much raised ourselves. And, being the youngest is a lot of the reason why I am the way I am now as a person who is very dedicated to getting what I want. Because being the youngest and being picked on, I didn't like it. It didn't feel good to me. And so I developed this personality that was like, well, if you can do it, I can do it. And I am not going to tolerate being treated that way. Or when I was really young, when I really couldn't really fight back, or when I was tickled or picked on, I wasn't strong enough to really truly defend myself against my brother's sister, my cousins. And my aunt tells me that my only defense was to bite. I would just bite. I would try biting. And, I look back at that now and I think about just as we age, and I look at myself throughout situations in ways that I've reacted instead of responded. And it's been really wonderful to look at it all just with a spotlight, look at it and just to see, oh, okay, that's why that happened. So that doesn't mean I have to stay there. That doesn't mean I have to stay in that place or serve that story. And that is just one of the things that I invite you to look at today. What are some of the ways that you react and instead of respond to life? How do you react when something triggers you? Do you react out of fear of abandonment? And so therefore you try to attach? Is that you? Or are you a control freak? Are you somebody who feels like that you can control the situation by really being, the powerhouse and dictating who and when and what and where things happen? Because I invite you to really look at those and ask yourself, why is this in me? Why is this truly in me? And where did it come from? And not in a way that judges you or anybody in your life, but you just begin to let it go. And you begin to shine a spotlight on it, because that is how you uproot it. You have to shine a spotlight on it so that you bring light to the darkness. Okay. So really, I just want to invite you to take a moment today or this week and notice those things in your life that get a reaction out of you rather than a response, rather than a very grounded, graceful, peaceful, loving response. Anything in you that triggers fear, anger, abandonment, feelings of, like a lack of self-worth, those are things that are not true to who you are. They're just not true to who you are. And when you gain some space and you begin to see the reaction internally, that's when you master this. And that's when you can transcend beyond these old hooks that are in you. And once you do that, once you see it, and once you bring it to life, it will begin to lose its power. And a lot of times you've heard me say some of these things have us in a headlock. But the thing is, once you begin to notice it, what I would recommend that you do is go into a meditation every single day for about 5 minutes in the beginning, centering and focusing your mind on a mantra or your breath. Then for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I want you just to focus and think about how those things made you feel, what you did, how you reacted, and what you can do differently instead. How does the real, true inner you, that inner God or inner goddess, how does that person want to feel in the situation? How does that person want to respond? How does that person want to be seen? How does that person want to be heard? And then when you start to really develop that internal picture, that's what you're going to begin to imprint on your subconscious. And it takes time because what you're doing is you're reprogramming neural connections. And you can do that through visualization. And the second thing that's going to be needed for you is strong, healthy human interactions, strong, healthy relationships that you are allowed to show up your real, true you and really invite someone to be a partner for, holding you accountable, but someone that you really, really trust and that they can hold space for you while you really open up and be vulnerable about this thing that you're trying to change. And then that way, they can help you. They can just be that space for you as you test out this new God or goddess self that's in you, and it wants to be living as this true inner self. That's your inner you. That's the true you. The reactions, those aren't you. Those aren't you. They're not. It's just not you. It's it was a reaction at some point in time that you took on because it made you feel safe, and now you don't need it anymore. So let's unprogram. Okay. So you guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope this podcast helps. And as always, please share this with somebody that you love. Share it with somebody who needs it. And I would be so grateful if you actually go out to iTunes and give this podcast a rating and a review. And one last thing. Oh, I'm so excited. It just hit me. The other day, I created a podcast, figureFIT podcast community on Facebook. This way, you can go out to figureFIT Lifestyle Coaching Podcast on Facebook. Just put it in the search bar, look it up, and then join us here. This will be a great place for you to ask questions that you would like me to address on the show. You can tag people that you love and invite them to the community and also invite them to listen to the podcast. Also, you can tag people that you'd like me to have as a guest on the show. And as always, my team will be there watching that page and taking things that we really want to address on the show. And we will pull those questions and they'll get them to me and I will look into it and potentially have a show all about that question. So you guys, thank you so much for being here today and listening to the show. So much love to you. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me today on the figureFIT Lifestyle Coaching Podcast. I am incredibly grateful that you stopped by. If you could take just 1 second to share this episode with someone you think would love it and who can use it, I would be so incredibly grateful and honored. And I know that your friends will thank you too. Also, if you feel so moved, we would be incredibly grateful if you could go into iTunes and leave us a rating and a review. Leave us an honest thought, an honest comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you love. Tell us what you need more of. It would really help us out on our journey to help thousands and thousands of people reconnect back to their soul, live a life of health and happiness, and to love the body that they are in. Until then, don't forget that you are so worth your own self-love, self-care, and investment in your body, your goals, and your life. Thank you so much for tuning in today, everybody. Have a great day.